Hello again. In the last video we talked about different meanings of wish. The last meaning of wish was using wish plus that plus subject plus verb. Now, I wanted to use this video to explain more about that meaning of wish, okay? Because, I just wanted to make sure that it's clear. So in this video, I'm going to try to go through pretty step by step, slowly, talking about this meaning of wish, and hope that I will be clear. So, let's take a look at this. To start talking about wish, it will be good to review what we know about imaginary conditional sentences. Okay? So let's say we're talking about an imaginary conditional sentence in the present. Now, the truth is, I cannot speak Chinese. I don't speak Chinese. It would be nice, but I don't speak Chinese. So if I talk about I speak Chinese, then you know that's my imagination. Okay? I don't speak Chinese now. So take a look at this sentence. If I blank speak Chinese now, comma, I blank teach in China. Now this is imaginary because I don't speak Chinese now. Would you take a minute, pause the video if you want to, and think what form should go in each of these blanks? Okay, so let's talk about that. You might remember, so I hope you remember that when I'm talking about something that's imaginary now in the present, in the if clause, I'll use simple past. So, simple past of speak is spoke. And I could say, if I spoke Chinese now, and when I use past form to talk about now, again, that's the signal in English, I'm talking about my imagination. Now, if I spoke Chinese now, then in the other clause, I'll use would. In the main clause, in the other clause, I'll use would plus simple form. If I spoke Chinese now, I would teach in China. And as we learned before, I could also say I could teach or I might teach, depending on what I want to say. There's another possibility for the first clause. I could say, with if, I could say the truth is, I cannot speak Chinese. The truth is, I cannot speak Chinese. And so I could use the word can. I cannot speak Chinese. If I want to show imagination, then I can use can, and I'll use the past, the past of can. So past of can is what? Right, could. So past of can is could. So if I say, if I could speak Chinese, I would teach in China. So I could say this either way, and both are good. Okay, now, let's talk, that's what we've learned about imaginary conditional sentences about now. Things that are about my imagination now. Let's take a look at, let's see here, a wish. A wish, and also this is present. Now, you'll remember in the last video when I said, if I use wish plus that plus subject plus verb, when I use wish and that plus subject plus verb, that means I want this, but I don't think it's real or possible. It's real, or I don't think it's probable, or I don't think it's possible. Nice, put it over there. So I don't think it's real, probable, or possible. Okay. So, again, it would be nice to speak Chinese. I want that. But it's not true. I don't. So because it's something I want, and because it's not true, then I can use the word wish. Okay? Now, when I use wish plus that plus subject and verb again, well, means I want it, but it's not, I don't think it's true, or I don't think it's possible. So, I could say, I wish that. Notice I'm putting that in parentheses. The reason is I can leave it out if I want to. When that comes at the beginning of a sentence, at the beginning of a clause, very often I can take it out. Okay. Anyway, I wish that, and then the subject here would be I, and then I'd say, I wish that I blank speak Chinese. Now, I mentioned briefly in the video before, just very fast, that when I'm talking about a wish, and I'm using wish and that and subject and verb to show I want this, but it's not real or possible, then I use the same verb tense as I do in the if clause of an imaginary present sentence, of an imaginary present conditional. So here, let me write this. For wish, now when I say wish, I want to make clear, I mean wish and that and subject and verb. This is only for this meaning of wish. The other meanings of wish, this doesn't apply. But for wish, I use the same tense as an, let's see, imaginary condition. I'm going to put IC for imaginary conditional if clause. Okay? So here, IC means imaginary. So here, this will be the same as this. When I use wish and that and subject and verb, this verb is going to be the same as the same verb tense as I would use in an imaginary if clause. So here, if I'm saying an imaginary present sentence, then I will use simple past in the if clause. If I'm talking about a wish about now, well, let me put now here just again so that's super clear. If I'm making a wish about now, I do the same thing. I use simple past. So I could say, I wish that I spoke Chinese. Or I could do the same thing like I did in the imaginary if clause. I could say, I wish that I could speak Chinese. So here's what I want you to remember. When I make a wish about now, I'll use simple past. Or I'll use a past form. Okay? How is that? Let me erase some of this, and I will put another example on the board. Actually, let me stop using I, because that doesn't have to be I. So let me say there's a little boy called Billy. Billy is a little boy. And Billy wishes that he, let's say Billy loves dinosaurs. So Billy wishes that he blank own a pet dinosaur. Now, Again, this is not possible, right? Because dinosaurs are all dead. Now you might say, "Oh, Mr. Uchiyama, I saw Jurassic Park, and maybe he could get a, maybe soon he will get a pet dinosaur." Okay, maybe, but when I use wish this way, it means I think that it's not possible. Okay, so let's take a look. So here again, I've got wish and that and subject and verb. Now, you remember take a minute, pause if you want to, see if you can fill in that blank. Now, I'm going to write the rule here, and then we'll talk about it. So here, for wishes about the present, I use past. For wishes about the present, I use past. And again, when I use past to talk about now, it's the signal. This is my imagination. So, what's the past form of own? Right, owned. So, Billy wishes that he owned a pet dinosaur. How is that? Good? Let me put up another sentence or two. For wishes about the present, I use the past. I can just write it here. Let's see here. I wish. Let's see here. Okay. I wish that Chabot blank be open now. Pause your video if you need to, but what should go in there? I wish that Chabot blank open now. Now. Let's talk about that. For wishes about the present, I use past. You might also remember that I use the same tense as in an imaginary if clause. So I remember, for imaginary present if clauses, if I use be, it's always were. If I use be in an imaginary if clause, it's always were. So here, I do the same thing here. I say, I wish that Chabot were open now. How is that? Okay. Now, I want to teach you, I want to go to the next thing. I hope this is good. Let's go to the next thing. Let's talk about right now, okay? So let's see here. Right now, I look out the window and it's raining, okay? And let's say, actually I'm happy to see, never mind. I look out, it's raining, I want it to be sunny, okay? So I could say, I wish it blank be sunny. Oh, now I do this. I wish, the sun blank shine right now. Or I might say, I wish it blank rain not right now. Okay. Now, you remember that we learned about imaginary simple present. That's what we were looking at in what I just erased, right? Like I could say, Billy wishes that he had a pet dinosaur. So I could say, Billy has, simple present, a pet dog, but he wishes that he had a pet dinosaur. So imaginary simple present uses simple past. Imaginary right now will use imaginary present progressive. How do I do imaginary present progressive? Well, take a minute, look at this. I wish the sun blank shine right now. If you think you know, pause the video. If you would like another hint, remember that remember that with a wish about the present, I use the same form as I use in the if clause of an imaginary conditional sentence about the present. So pause, see if you can guess. And let's take a look. So, to talk about right now, you'll remember I'll use be and verb ing, right? But because this is imagination, the sun is not shining right now, it's raining. You can't see, but it's raining. Because the sun is not shining right now, this is my imagination. So, to show its imagination, I'll use imaginary past forms. So, I'd say, remember, I use the same as in the if clause, so I will use were, because when I use be in an imaginary present if clause, when I use be, it's always were for the present imagination. I'll use were plus verb ing. I wish the sun were shining right now. Okay? Then, take a look at this. I wish it blank rain not right now. Pause the video. So this is positive, this is negative. Pause the video, see if you can guess how I'd say that. Okay. Now, to make it negative, very easy, I just add not. So I'd use were not plus verb ing. So I could say, I wish it were not, or I could say, I wish it weren't. Same meaning. I wish it weren't raining right now. Okay. Oh, there's one more thing I want to just make sure that's clear. So, I'm going to erase these. And let's see. Let me see, I want to use a different color. Bill wishes that he Now, before I write this, most people need to work, right? I'm almost retired, so soon I may not need to work. I probably won't continue working. But most people need to work. Bill needs to work. But in his imagination, he wishes, no, I don't want that. So I'd say, Bill wishes that he need not to work. Okay, now, so this is a wish in Bill's imagination. Bill needs to work, but he wishes, oh, I wish I did not need, my hope is, what I want is, I don't want to need to work. Okay? Now, remember that here, need, oh, actually, before I talk to you about that, take a minute, pause the video, see if you can guess what that is. Bill wishes that he blank need not to work. Okay. Now, here, I'd be using need. If I say everybody needs to work, that's simple present. Everybody needs to work is simple present. So if I'm using my imagination, I'll use simple past. Good. Now, but this is negative simple past. So how would I say it? Well, the way that I make negative simple past is I will use did plus not plus simple form, right? So I'd say Bill wishes that he didn't need to work. Okay. Now, that, I think, let me give you one more example, okay? Let me see. Okay. Now, let's say Betty is a little girl, okay? Betty's a little girl. And Betty wishes the truth is people cannot fly. So the truth is Betty can't fly. But let's say in her imagination, Betty wants this. Betty wants to fly in her imagination. She wants to be able to fly. So here, Betty wishes that she blank can fly like Superman. Okay? So again, Betty's a little girl. She wants this. It's in her imagination. How would I say that? Oh, pause if you need a second. Okay, now, you remember that when I use a wish about the present, I'll use the past form. So, here, I'm saying can fly. What's the past of can? Could, right? So here, I'd say, Betty wishes that she could fly. Again, past. Like Superman. Okay. I think that's everything I want to tell you about wishes about the present. I'm going to stop this video. In the next video, I'll continue chart 29, and I'll talk to you about wishes about the past. Oh, before you watch the video, see if you can guess. How do I make a wish about the past? Wish about the present is the same as a present imaginary if clause. Wish about the past? What do you think? Okay? And if you are thinking, I don't want to think about that, don't worry, you don't have to. I'll tell you in the next video. Okay.